coffee hour recently, someone made an offhand disparaging remark about the Catholic Church to someone they had just met. What they didn't know was that this person was someone who still attended a Catholic church, but was looking for a new spiritual home, perhaps here. They came here because they heard that we respected and welcomed differing beliefs. Later, when I spoke with that visitor, she challenged me. Are you who you say you are? Or do you just want to be a group that thinks alike and believes alike and dismisses anyone who doesn't? Our challenge to be true to our promise of welcome and acceptance reaches beyond religious belief. Shortly after I arrived as your minister, almost 4.5 years ago, I heard of a family who had been active members of the church, but they no longer attended. I asked why. They left because they had grown tired of hearing strongly worded attacks against Republicans during coffee hour. They just didn't feel welcome or respected. They felt mocked and excluded. They felt here the energy of hate. Guess what? There are Republicans among us. They don't bite. But they do feel. Now, I'm not a Republican, and I can be the first person in line to grow heated and angry towards many of the stances the Republican Party takes. Just listen to my dad and me talk politics sometime, and you're going to see a less than ministerial side of Reverend Tim. But my faith, my Unitarian Universalist faith, expects more of me. It asks me to remember that the person sitting next to me in the pew might have a different way of viewing the world than I do. My Unitarian Universalist faith asks me to remember that I might not always be right. Our Unitarian Universalist faith asks that we use language that respects differences. Our Unitarian Universalist faith reminds us that there is no place for hate within this church. Now, that doesn't mean we have to toss out the mission of our church. That doesn't mean we aren't engaged in social and environmental issues that many of us care about. It doesn't mean that we pretend that the majority of folks here don't lean to the liberal side. We do. But it does mean we don't assume that everybody does. It means that we affirm and promote the worth and dignity of everyone who joins this congregation. It means we have to figure out how to respect the right of conscience for everyone who wants to call this their spiritual home. It means we can disagree with each other, but we still need to find a way to love each other and to help heal our world together. It means we all have to be mindful of what we say and how we say it. That is how we grow together rather than grow apart. As Joy Harjo writes, remember that you are all people and that all people are you. Remember that this universe is you, and you are this universe. Remember that all is in motion, all is growing, all is you. May we remember to help each other become more than who we were when we first walked through the door. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. I now invite Jasmine Hatzopoulos to offer a very short reflection and response to the sermon. Jasmine grew up in the Greek Orthodox Church, but found a spiritual home here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading.
Good morning. Francis David once said, "We don't need to think alike to love alike." That concept is what brought me to this church. Shortly after I arrived, I heard this quote here, and I knew I was in the right place. Fast forward a few years later, and I'm starting to not feel safe to convey my thoughts, as I realize that I am in the minority. I start to feel that I'm back in the Greek church, where you have to think and believe alike to be welcomed. You see, I'm a registered Republican, and although I no longer consider myself a Christian, I strongly value Christian principles. When I am among you and I hear Republican bashing and Christian values criticized, I am embarrassed for us because it is so not you. A while ago, I hosted a dinner in my home with people from this church. While at the dinner table, I heard the hatred in people's voices against Republicans. I felt hurt and violated in my own home. I didn't feel safe enough to reveal this to any of you. It is Tim's support that gives me courage to stand before you today. I love this church, its teachings, and all of you. I love the concept of coming to a welcoming church. My hope is that someday soon I will feel welcome and my thinking will be valued. Thank you.